Whatever I've learned as an actor, I learned it here.
Steppenwolf has been my career. Though I've done things elsewhere now, this is home. This is home base.
I think everybody wants a place where they can feel that they can express everything that they have to say as a human being and as an artist.
When I get scared, I just grab onto everything I learned here at Steppenwolf. And then even if I do fail, I still get to come home.
Steppenwolf was the brainchild of 3 high school and college friends, Gary Sinise, Jeff Perry, and Terry Kinney. They wanted to create an actor-centered theater company and started their work actually in the basement of a church in the suburbs of Chicago.
In March of '74, and there was a group of high school kids that were still in school, and we were all doing plays together. I called my buddies up and said, you know, we were doing this thing with the theater company, and so Terry and Jeff came to do the 3rd play, which was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard. When that was all done, we would huddle up again and try to make a go of it, and that's what we did in 1976. We came back together, started having meetings down at Illinois State, where the 2 of them went to school, and with people that we thought might be interested in what we were doing. And we ended up with the 3 of us and 6 others, including John Malkovich, Moira Harris, Laurie Metcalf, Alan Wilder, and Peachy Bacchus, and Nancy Evans.
We really wanted to make the audience have a sense of being really part of it, that we break the 4th wall as much as we can. And that doesn't mean that we turn and include them. It means that we spill out. The activity on stage sort of spills into the audience.
The reputation here has always been of rock and roll theater, in-your-face theater.
We really wanted people to be afraid of us. You know, people were moving away in the front row because we got very close to them.
We made it interesting for the audience, that's for sure. We felt like when we got on stage together, something was happening that we couldn't get somewhere else, and it was ours. If we went out somewhere else and worked for somebody else in their theater or something like that, it wouldn't be owned. And we owned that little space, and we owned what we were doing on stage together. And that gave us a lot of creative juice that we all carry with us today. It just was the bedrock and foundation of all of our acting. As the company has grown, that ingredient has just permeated through the history of the company.
Every time we were told by another executive director, who we would fire right afterwards, you're done. You can't continue. You're broke. You're not just broke. You all personally owe money now. And we would
Close your doors.
We would say, well then, you leave. We're not leaving. Where are we going to go?
I remember a moment in our 3rd space, across from the gaslight. It was the first time in my memory that we had this opportunity. Wait, the NEA would actually, they'd know that we existed, they'd pay attention to us, they might give us money. The company's sitting around, and John Malkovich, you know, a certain amount of discussion would happen, and he'd make sure that right near the end, he could insert what he hoped would be the decision maker, you know, kind of comment. And we'd all been sucking up to the NEA, basically. And John had been silent.
They may not want to use that.
Yeah, you know, whatever. And John...
We were no different than any other theater.
Yeah, that's right. And John had been silent, and he said, listen, I'd just like to say that I don't give a bleep, 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 whether you give us money or not, because we are going to continue doing what we're doing. It would be nice if you gave us money, but I don't really care.
Jeff went running after them. Wait, come back.
No.
Wait, no, don't listen to him.
He has a funny,
Come back.
He has a funny sense of humor. He means the opposite. Yeah.
He's not in control. He's not in control of what he's saying, you know. Probably right around the time that this happened, Terry was directing a play with Joan Allen that we moved from Chicago to Lincoln Center. So we started to get some national recognition within the media, and you know, that probably helped a little bit get the attention of the NEA.
Obviously, it took us from a local to a national audience as in terms of financial support for the theater.
Everybody who came to Chicago or from Chicago wanted to work at Steppenwolf because it typifies the kind of work here in Chicago we value so much in the theater. Ensemble work. That's where the value is. It's not on any one person. It's on the collective.
All I know, Junior, is that your mother is looking down on you right now, so proud for moving back in here and taking care of your father.
Oh, taking care of me? He got free rent, all he can eat, cable TV, internet, computer, round-the-clock electricity. He got all his friends flopping here like it's Section 8 housing. This ain't no kind of burden on him. This is down there in Shangri-La.
We were students enough of American theater to know that the group theater ended because Hollywood could pay more. When we're asked, does something make Steppenwolf different? We could explore our individual curiosity and ambitions and evolve and individuate. That could happen and people would return the way they did. That Laurie Metcalf could be on 11 years of the highest rated television being paid more than our theater budget and return every hiatus for a play. No American theater had done that.
In the late 90s, the NEA then supported an expansion of our facility at 1650 North Halsted.
For the first 20 years, we were focused on our acting, building the ensemble, creating directors, all of that, but we hadn't placed an emphasis on playwriting. The three of us talked to Martha very specifically about using her gifts to focus on developing writers, and over the years, we've done that.
Due to Martha Levy and her acumen, she grew the organization.
And over the years, Steppenwolf as a playwriting center really started to flourish.
We still have a major emphasis on the ensemble, but the ensemble's a larger thing now. I think the arbiters of production, the directors and the playwrights and the design teams, everything, have equal sway here now as the ensemble does.
The NEA has had a very, very important role in the growth of Steppenwolf Theater. Since 2000, the NEA's commitment to new play development here has been critical.
Where you going, Oya? Gotta go, check me. Nope. No. Moja looks at Oya like what I say. What I say.
It's been critical not just because of the plays that we get to make, but because we get to have bigger conversations. When we are able to make new plays, those plays go into the world. That's huge. Steppenwolf has always wanted to be a place that makes work that then goes out into the American theater.
You know I always liked your father. No, I always liked your father. You know that. I introduced Fighting Beth, for God's sake.
You did not introduce.
The hell I didn't.
You had a date with him and stood him up and sent your sister instead.
That's an introduction. That's what an introduction is.
Right now, we're working in rehearsal here on a play called Mary Page Marlowe, which is a play by Tracy Letts.
I had an instinct that was a point, after Won't Make Trouble, that there was a kind of lean in.
Yeah.
That there was a kind, it's like, as you, it starts to reveal itself to you, and so you can reveal
that's
to
good.
her.
That's helpful.
Right? This is, now I'm really drilling down into
and
something.
that engine, I think, will help get to the end of it.
Having the actor at the center of the work is really good for the kind of plays that I write. My plays are, first and foremost, character-driven. I hope they have good ideas in them, and I hope they have action and theme and all those things we look for in good drama. It's why I'm a good fit with this company.
We pretend that I'm making decisions about the direction of my life. I'm not. I haven't. I don't feel like I decided on any of it.
The milestone moments in Steppenwolf's history are really the productions. In the 80s, you think about True West, Balm and Gilead, Grapes of Wrath. In the 90s, you think about Buried Child, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Song of Jacob Zulu. And then in the 2000s, you have August Osage County, you have Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Superior Donuts, and most recently, Airline Highway.
Steppenwolf for Young Adults started really over 30 years ago. And since then, our programming has blossomed into this nationally recognized model for bringing theater to young audiences. And as we like to say, theater that speaks to the teen identity. Our Young Adult Council is an after-school program to learn the inner workings of professional theater. And they really get a chance to kind of flex their muscles as what we hope will be the next generation of theater makers and theater appreciators.
So what we want the future to be is that we want Steppenwolf to be a place where art is happening all the time, where we are curating a very, very wide and vast vocabulary of theatrical experience for the Chicago community.
The NEA came to support us in the early days of Steppenwolf. That support meant a lot in those early days. And now here we are over 40 years later, and we're still here and we're strong, and we've done a lot of great work. We've developed a lot of great actors, great playwrights, great directors, all of that. That early support meant a lot, and there are lots of young companies out there that are probably starting out just like ours that could use a helping hand as well. And maybe they'll turn into the next 40-year-old great American ensemble down the road because of that support.